For a long-time fan, not necessarily as long as a gamer, of Team Fortress 2, you might have seen them meet the team shorts, and I thought that the pyro had a flamethrower, a flare gun, and an axe of some sort. But when I played Team Fortress 2 for the first time about a year ago, I was shocked at the starting of stock weapons for pyro. Pyro had a shotgun. This freaked me out, and I wanted a flare gun so bad I did what most newcomers did, and went to an achievement engineer server, and unlocked all achievements and got myself a flare gun. And I looked at all my other weapons, and I got thinking, what other classes should change their stock weapons? And no, I'm not replacing them, I'm saying they should have multiple stock weapons, as in pyro should get a flare gun and a shotgun. First, to find these sort of things, we need to find what makes a weapon compatible with being a stock weapon. I thought of 4 rules. 1. It must be different to other stock weapons, so no reserve shooter business. 2. It must be straightforward, no bars like oomph on the Phlogistinator. 3. It has weapons that can counter side grades, all stock weapons have this sort of thing. And 4, it must evoke a new playstyle, as in a subclass. And with all that, we have a bit to go through. There's almost one for every class. After examining the Scout for weapons, I came to realize nothing really changed the Scout in a way that would be considered valid for a change. Moving on. The soldier is interesting, as he has multiple stock weapons for me to choose from, and I was originally going to pick the gunboats, but I have a new pick for the soldier. And now as I'm writing the script, I'm realizing I want to add one more rule. It has to sound like a stock name or something else basic. I know, it's pretty subjective. And that is good, as for my pick for the soldier is the buff banner. It fits almost all the criteria, except for the fact that it has a bar that you have to charge by dealing in the range of 600 damage. This will fully fill your rage meter and cause everyone in a radius around you to gain guaranteed mini crits for 10 seconds. Pyro we've already talked about, and now we are at Devil Man has another unique case of having multiple stock weapons. If you can't tell at this point, it's the Charge and Targe and the Islander. They both have incredible power when put together to create an undeniably one of the tankiest classes in the game, only being beat out by the Heavy, but there are some flaws in the design of this. The name Islander doesn't really scream sword at you, not until you play the class of course, but at this point it's just a name. As I already said, it's decently subjective. And finally we can talk about the Heavy. Closest thing to a mascot for Team Fortress 2, the Heavy is another class that shocked me, as I thought he had a sandwich of a stock weapon, and many people like myself suggested ways of implementing it. It has multiple quote-unquote side grades, but more and more things are going for it, like the simplistic names I said earlier, and better yet, almost everyone agrees it changes the Heavy just enough from the boring old shotgun to make it in this list of flying colors. Next up, we have the one, the only, the Engineer. The build-up might have suggested I main him, but this guy has debatably enough change in the playstyle that it can count. I'm gonna pass it over to Engineer to talk about the Gunslinger. Take it away.
What is up everyone, the Engineer is Engie here. What do I have to tell you about it? It's a wrencher more like a gauntlet that can build a mini sentry. If you are on offense, great. On defense is slightly less usable, but also great.
Wow, Engineer, I didn't expect you to be here, but thank you so much.
No problemo, see you around, Shaw.
What a nice guy, he even says my name correctly. Anyway, I have a few problems with this weapon. See, with its name and the fact you get more health with the Gunslinger, you're pretty much a new class. If you don't agree with this placement, feel free to fight in the comments, as I'm not sure about this one. Anyway, moving on to Medic. I could easily have made that intro 3 minutes long, but alas, I have your attention, and I know most of you have already stopped watching, but if you haven't, I recommend you subscribing, as it helps out a ton. Ugh, that was a tough nut to swallow. But Medic has one thing that I believe needs to become a stock weapon. Like, why would I go through all that effort to make an intro for it, right? Right? The crit streak. Hear me out, hear me out. You already get random crits in game, but crits forced onto you by your Medic girlfriend? Well,
Look, Pip,
I mean, it does fit
I
all
know
the
it's our job to help this guy and everything, but I think this guy's a lost cause. He's obviously made up his mind. Why don't we just cut our losses and get out of here?
After that last success of a class, let's move on to the sneaky assassin, the spy. That build-up was essentially pointless, as the French has nothing to offer, as all of his kit does the same thing unless you want the ambassador to count, but that fails in multiple other ways. Father-like son, hey? Okay, I'll make this quick on myself and the one viewer that's still watching this, thanks by the way. The sniper has two more weapons to choose from, the Huntsman and the Girardi. Both released in the Sniperverse Spy update of 2009, they both feel incredibly stock-like, but we might have to change the Huntsman to the compound bow, its weapon reskin variant, as it's more clear that it's a bow of sorts. And for Girardi? It's jar-based karate, it's so obvious. Finally, it's over. It's not like there's a 10th class or whatever.